A lot of people like to call the SEC Network's Paul Finebaum an Alabama homer, and that may even be true to an extent, but this week he did not lack on positive things to say about Georgia's head coach Kirby Smart ahead of the upcoming national championship game between Georgia and Alabama, the powerhouses of the SEC. So we know that Paul Finebaum's got a busy few days ahead of him in his head, has had that the last few days. But Monday night is the SEC championship between Georgia and Alabama. Before I get into that, Ryan Curley from Dog Post here to talk about the national championship game. Make sure you're checking out dogpost.com. Make sure you're checking out all of our social media, everything. You just look up Dog Post. We're everywhere. So, that being said, Kirby Smart was defended by Paul Finebaum this week. And, you know, the way that he has his show set up where people call in and either ask questions or make comments, well, I decided to watch on Tuesday, and so this video is coming out Thursday or Friday, and I watched this on Tuesday, so these comments happened on Tuesday night, and so many Alabama fans were calling, and it was funny. It's entertaining. The show's entertaining, but they were calling in with a lot of criticism towards Kirby Smart, saying that he wasn't a good coach, saying he was a good coordinator but not a good head coach. He doesn't know how to manage the quarterback room, all sorts of negativity coming from Alabama fans, which is interesting since Kirby Smart was a big part of Alabama's program for years there. So I found that to be a little bit shocking how much negative energy was coming from the Alabama fans. That's just me, but, you know, Paul Finebaum was quick to rush to Kirby's defense. He said Mark Richt was a good coach, but the program was starting to go in the wrong direction. Kirby Smart is elite, is what Paul Finebaum said. I agree with most of what Paul had to say. The criticism's overdone for Kirby Smart. Yeah, and most of that criticism comes from two things. There's two things, two places where the criticism comes from and why fans, media, everybody hates on Kirby Smart, thinks he's not a great coach, whatever you want to categorize it as. The two places are managing the quarterbacks and deciding which quarterbacks. There's been so much criticism from that factor. And the other one has been from not being able to beat Alabama at all. So, you know, and some of it is rightful. You know, maybe Kirby has made some interesting decisions with the quarterback. You had the Jake Fromm versus Jacob Eason ordeal. Some people thought Jacob Eason was better than Fromm. And that was in 17. In 18, you had, do we put Justin Fields in? A lot of people were screaming for that. They choose not to. Kirby chooses not to. Fromm stays in. You got this year, the 2021 football season. It's been Stetson Bennett or JT Daniels. Even though Stetson Bennett has played extremely well, there's a controversy on the outside of the program. I don't think there's controversy inside the program. So that's kind of the argument, you know. And then, of course, not being able to beat Alabama. That's where his criticism lies in. And maybe some of it is deserved. I mean, he's got to beat Alabama. I think it has to happen this game. He's not going to get fired, and he does not deserve to be fired if Georgia loses this national championship game. But more criticism will be warranted if that happens, if they lose. But I think that the time is now. Anyway, so, I mean, Kirby Smart is the perfect fit for Georgia. Elite recruiter. He's a very, very, very good head coach. I think he's one of the 3 or 4 best head coaches in college football. And I think he's a perfect fit for Georgia. He's a Georgia guy. He knows how to recruit. He played here. Great defensive-minded coach. Loves Georgia. I mean, I don't know if there's anyone better than Kirby Smart to be here, and Paul Finebaum agrees with that notion. Kirby Smart has accomplished so much in his first 6 seasons at Georgia, and people like to compare it to Mark Richt's first few seasons, but it's not. Mark Richt's first few seasons is not as good as Kirby Smart's. I know that winning-wise, record-wise, they're similar, but let's look at Kirby Smart's first 6 years, what he has accomplished. And I'm going to go down the line from 2016 till now. What Kirby Smart has accomplished, that is a lot in a short amount of time. And national championships will come if they do not come in a few days here. They will start to roll in with the way that Kirby Smart's got this program going. But you have your acclimation year, 8-5, with a Liberty Bowl victory over TCU. That's okay for your first year. Second year, 11-1 in the regular season. You finish 13-2. You win the Rose Bowl. You go to the national championship. You're that close to winning the national championship. This is your second year as a head coach. That's really good. You go 11-3 the next year. You lose the SEC championship. You miss out on in 2018. You miss out on a national championship and a playoff. You lose the Sugar Bowl to Texas. I don't think the players were motivated that day, but that's 2 New Year's Six Bowl appearances in 3 years. You make the Sugar Bowl again next year. You finish 12-2. You beat Baylor. That's 3 New Year's Six game appearances and 2 wins in 4 years for Kirby. And then you win the Peach Bowl going 8-2. So that's 4, or that's 1, I can't even count. Wow. 1, 2, 3 New Year's Six wins in your first 5 years. And then they win the Orange Bowl this year, make the national championship game. They've won 4 New Year's Six Bowls in 6 years and 2 national championship appearances. And Kirby Smart is not a good coach. I don't know what that's about. I think that they could be categorized, the people saying that can be categorized as the delusionals. And I know you guys hate it when I say that, and it's totally a joke. So I know that some of you guys got upset by that, but it's totally a joke between me and Dean. But those people are delusionals. I will say that. If you come on here and say Kirby Smart is not even a great head coach, because he is, and he's reaching elite status, winning a title it will earn elite status in my opinion. The criticism's not fair yet. If they lose this game in Alabama, more criticism's warranted. I understand that, and there will be criticism from me, because this is the perfect opportunity for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs to win a national title and beat Alabama at the same time. Ryan Curley from Dog Post. Make sure you're checking out the site. Keep up with us. We'll have coverage of the national championship game. Love you guys.